Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the morning show. Alex Smith says it's August 24th. Did I get it wrong? Oh. Yeah. I have it right on the sheet. I just got it wrong on the tweet. Whatever. Travis Miller, morning. How you doing? Facebook says you're a top fan, Travis Miller. I don't know how they organize that. Todd Father, also, congrats. Facebook has labeled you a top fan. Don't know how it's doing it. Enrique, you're here every day, but Facebook hasn't labeled you as such. What's going on, Facebook? Hook my dude Enrique up. Rick Cridner, Facebook's got you covered. Top fan. Morning, everyone. We got Josh. Don't forget the intro, Osborne. You're from Scituate. Did I say it right? Rhode Island. I know there's one in Mass, too. Scott, Detroit Dabber, Norm, Real D, Dylan, Abe, Benjamin, Ian. How's everyone doing? Josh. Morning. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. It was pretty nice for me. I kind of just took it off. No Yankees games, so I just took it as much off as I can. Didn't make any breakdowns, which always kind of fills me with anxiety, but we got a lot to cover now, so that's good. No Yanks today either. How about that? Morning. Welcome to the morning show. It's bite-sized bits of information. Bite-sized bits of things I like. Geography, American towns, American people, history, rabbit holes, baseball players, books, poems. Rick Higginbotham. How do you say your name? You have a top fan next to your name as well. Eric? Is that just Eric? A-R-I-C-K. Eric Higginbotham. Anyway, good morning, guys. We got Wake and Jake coming up. As soon as this one's done, it'll be the real Jake back. Talking baseball, we will be recording that around 10. Talking Giants, they've been posting things nonstop. Just crushing New York Giants football content. The last couple episodes, they had Barstool Clem on. You heard about that on Friday. Darius Slayton and Julian Love, player profile projections. Talking Nets, they put out one last episode for the season as the Nets run out of luck. And then Pinstripe Strong also has a show out today. I believe Talking Yanks, the other guys, does as well. Sup? Morning. That's what's going on. It's August 24th. I said it wrong on the tweet and the post, but on the graphic, I got it right. Hey, go me. We're coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios. They sent us a whole bunch of brand new hats. Now, the Roosevelt's crew, the Roosevelt's fans, they have their own fans, and they're nuts. Hair looks great. And what Roosevelt's likes to do is send us things that haven't been released yet, and then we wear them for like a split second, or we post a picture in them, and then their fans are like, what the hell is that? And then all their Facebook message boards go nuts. So they sent us a bunch of hats. I don't know if these are publicly released yet or not, but this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hat. So coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios here in the Bronx. I think I'm going to throw the morning hat back on. Can't let them get too much of a teaser. Bam. No watching baggage today. We fell behind on the watchings. It's been really hard to keep up with all that, with how many things we're doing. But we're trying to get back on top of watchings. Either we're going to try to get back on top of watching baggage and watching everything on Friday, or we're going to pause it till the end of the season. We might be able to do a couple more, but once like October comes in late September, we'll probably have to pause it to the end. Same with laughs. Same thing we did last year. Once baseball's amped up pretty much right now, taking over our days. Once it's really here, laughs and the watching series will probably get put on pause until November. Showed my friends watching Three's a Crowd and they lost their goddamn minds, said Rob. Yeah, that show is ridiculous. Anyway, that opening song was Shaky Graves with Shovels and Rope on their Busted Jukebox Volume 1, covering Neil Young. I really liked that song. The random artist generation with Shaky Graves. Could have chose from a lot of songs, but I like that one the most. So I went with that one, and that's
all I have to say about that.
Oh, I was going to say it naturally. All right. Scituate, Rhode Island. Is that how you say it, Josh? Trying to scroll up and read Josh's comment to see if yeah, that's how you pronounce it, he said. Cool. Nailed it. Scituate. Rhode Island. There's a Scituate, Mass as well. Going to Scituate, Rhode Island. That's the town of the day. It is 73 degrees and cloudy there. Scituate, Rhode Island. A bunch of people from Scituate, Mass emigrated. They left Massachusetts. They went to Rhode Island, and then they just named the town the same thing because creativity was lacking in New England when they came to naming towns. Just so lacking. I mean, even in Connecticut, you have Milford, and then you have New Milford. You have Fairfield, and then you have New Fairfield in the same state. All I did was go up the coast a little bit, and then they just named the town after the same town. Like, come on, get some new names. It ain't hard. Just look at a random person, name it after that person if you want. Anyway, Scituate comes from the native Indian word meaning cold brook or cold river. Scituate. Scituate. The original spelling of the town's name was Satuit. All right. We can do like the map stuff, but Scituate sent me down some real, like, I feel like I haven't been down any real rabbit holes lately, and this shit sent me down some real rabbit holes. So if you're unfamiliar with the geography of the East Coast, which when I lived in Illinois and when I lived in California, none of my friends knew any of the states on the East Coast, which is fine because they're tiny and small, and why would you? They're like counties in California, and you don't expect someone from the East Coast to know the counties in California anyway. I kind of did the coastline the other day, but I understand people don't watch every single episode, so sometimes I got to repeat myself. How about that? Sports talk radio, because they're on for 6 hours a day, and the average listener listens for 30 minutes. They just repeat themselves. It's crazy. Do you ever listen to like sports radio, like a 6-hour show or 4-hour show from start to finish? Same thing. Like, it's basically watching SportsCenter when you're homesick as a little kid and you're like, yeah, I'm going to watch SportsCenter all day. And then you watch it twice and you're like, oh, shit, this is the same thing over and over. They're actually replaying it. Same thing. It's crazy. Anyway, maybe that's what I'm doing here. Scituate. It's pretty big. I mean, for Rhode Island being that big, I feel like that's a big percent of Rhode Island. See what I'm saying? If Rhode Island is, yeah, okay, cool. I agree with my initial assessment that it's kind of big. Buzzards Bay is such a cool name. All right. So there's the reservoir, which was huge in this town, becoming a big town, a mill town. I was cooking yesterday, meal prepped, got like 8 meals ready to go for Katie and I for the week. What of it? Instagram storied the whole thing. And as I cook, I put a show on TV, and one that I know I don't really care about, but it'll catch my attention. Maybe, if not, I don't care. I put The Mill. It's an old show by like PBS in 2013. All about child labor in the mill in England, Middle England. Well, anyway, this was a mill town. Scituate. This was a mill town, and yeah, this is like the Bay Area of towns. Like, if you live over here and you want to hang out with your friend who lives over here, your parents are probably like, nah, they live. That's like San Jose down here, and then Oakland up here. It's like, you're not going to hang out with that friend. It's too far. It's not a direct route. They do have one bridge. Wonder when this bridge was built. Plainsfield Pike Bridge. Let's drive over the bridge. Which way was it? Oh, shit. Which way was it? Nice and green. Is this the bridge? Oh, found it. Okay, we found it. So here's the reservoir. Pretty big. Pretty big. I don't need to do all this because I have 2 natural rabbit holes that I went down by myself. One I find interesting. I think maybe you guys will find interesting. The other I don't think is that interesting, but I went down it and I was like, that's kind of the point of the show. Like, even if, if I did it live, I would have went down that rabbit hole. Mr. Pump. What's that, Josh? You ever go to Mr. Pump? Is that just a gas station? Oh. Tough break for Mr. Pump. It's just not there. Oh. A well and drilling contractor. Maybe he had like a trailer there. He was drilling all the time. Abe said that my meatballs looked awesome. Got them in the fridge today. Sriracha meatballs. Do you HelloFresh, Jimmy? No, I don't. I just find recipes and then I bullshit around them. I did like one of those HelloFresh things for a while, but I didn't enjoy it. I thought I really would. I didn't. All right, so Scituate. So I was reading the Wikipedia for Scituate, Mass., and the top thing it says is, in 1791, the U.S. Supreme Court decided its first case, West versus Barnes, regarding a farm in Scituate. So I was like, that's historical. That's cool. I'm going to check out that. But it's kind of boring. The other one's a dentist. Here's Jake.
Good morning.
Just burp into the mic? Oh, wow.
Sorry. You want a burp?
No. No.
What you got in the world?
Scituate, Mass. Ever been?
Oh, Scituate.
No, not Mass. Rhode Island.
Okay.
Big reservoir. First U.S. Supreme Court case ever was decided in Scituate, Mass. West versus Barnes. This dude named William West. I'll give you guys the spark notes of it because it's rather boring. William West had a house, and he's paying his mortgage on it. This is what the house looked like. They say it's still up. They wanted to give the U.S. Supreme Court an easy case to be its first, and they did this one, and the Supreme Court didn't overturn it. It was the first chance where they could overturn the court case of the state, the Supreme Court. They could overturn it. They didn't. They agreed with it. It was kind of bullshit, man. This dude got railroaded. His paying his mortgage, and he was a Revolutionary War general. He was a judge, did all this shit, and he owed a mortgage on his farm from a failed molasses deal to the Jenks. Anyway, so he was paying his mortgage for 20 years, and then at the very end, he asked if he could set up a lottery to help him pay off the remainder of his mortgage because, he was a Revolutionary War person, whatever. It was like, hey, I've done a lot of good in my life. Can you guys help me set up a lottery to pay off the end of this mortgage? Which I don't really get how that works. Everyone chips in, and then there's a winner, and everyone pays him money, and then he chooses a winner, and then the remainder of the money goes towards his mortgage. Is that like, that's illegal now? That would be pretty fucking badass to be like, everyone give me $2 and I'm going to give a random person 50, like it's 50-50 raffle, but you just use the proceeds to pay your mortgage. Imagine if that was legal all the time. Is that legal? That can't be legal. That's kind of cool. It's like an original GoFundMe, but only one winner. It's just a raffle. I think it's just a raffle. Alrighty. Anyway, so then he got all the proceeds, but he paid in paper, and I'm guessing paper currency was pretty new country and all that, instead of silver or gold. So they were like, this doesn't count. We don't care about paper money. So then they closed his mortgage, and he had to like give up his house. And then he was like, but I paid you. And they're like, yeah, but we don't like paper. And then he wanted to defend himself because he was a judge, but he had to go all the way to Philadelphia to do it, and he only had 10 days to do it, and this was the 1790s, so he was like, what? So then the judge ruled against him on a clerical error. It was all about who can sign off for the writing. Dude, it's really boring. So that's kind of it. In the end, they still didn't kick him off his house. He just kept living there, and then he sold it to like his nephew, and then it got even more muddied, and then he died. And the house is still there, I guess. Now it looks like this. Or it looked like that. It's just not black and white. I don't know. All right. The other rabbit hole. This one was a weird one.
And that's all I have to say.
Wrong button. Oh, not playing.
I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole with you again.
All right, so I was clicking on the Scituate, Rhode Island Wikipedia, which is how I do this. I went to notable people, wanted to see if there's anyone, and it says Emerson C. Angle, dentist. I was like, how does a dentist get on the notable people? How does a dentist have his own Wikipedia page? He had to do something pretty cool if he was a dentist. And then it says he invented something to fix a crossbite, right? So if you're the front, well, this is what he invented. The front teeth overlapped the bottom teeth, but the sides of the top were inside. So you're all like rodent-mouthed. He invented something to fix that. And I was like, that's crazy. And then I looked up what he invented, and it is, to put it lightly,
barbaric.
I mean, look at what he invented. So now I'm on this. So this is the rabbit hole. Now I'm on this dentist slideshow for like dentist school. And that's the dude. And basically he was like, if you put a stick in your mouth, if you put this piece of stick in your mouth and then just spin it one twist every day, eventually your teeth will be corrected. I mean, that
Barbaric.
is barbaric. That's like right there. You just feel that with your tongue in your mouth. You're just supposed to let that happen. And when they put those blue spacers in between my teeth before braces, I ripped them out with my tongue. So crazy. And then this slideshow shows the development of this process. Then they did this little spider web thing. After that, this was not accepted by the ortho community. And then, hold on. Then they did this, which seems crazy. I don't know what that's all about. It seems spring-loaded. It's called a La Sauce named it. Then they did this one. So then I was on a rabbit hole last night just looking at the history of fixing crossbites. And that's what this stupid show is. I wonder, that initial one, though. Imagine if that dude gave you that. You went to the dentist, and he was like, here you go. And then twist it every night. Just give it a twist, and you'll be good to go. I mean, no way you're not ripping that out. It said Dr. Angle faced much criticism from people in the field of dentistry, which makes sense because he just put kind of like a torture device in people's mouth, told them to twist. Nuts. All right. That's Scituate, Mass, and the rabbit holes it sent me on.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Next up, baseball players. Yeah, how do you eat with that? Good question, Troy. How do you eat with that? Great question by Troy in the YouTube chat. Jackie Hernandez. To be honest, man, I knew that the rabbit hole for the town was going to take up a lot of time, so I was hoping nothing would be that exciting about Jackie, and then I ended up just not even really reading much, so we'll go quick. We'll go quick with Jackie. He played from 1965 to 1973. He only had 1 year where he played in more than 100 games. I'm guessing he was a utility guy since his baseball card was of his bunting. He's from Cuba. That's cool. Jacinto Hernandez. Didn't we do a player named Jacinto way back? Like way, like one of the first 5 shows. Jackie Hernandez is this dude's name. I was reading his bio. At one point, it was kind of sad. After his first season, he talked with his mom about going back to Cuba, and she said, don't come back. Things are getting worse, and if you return, you may never be able to leave again. So he didn't go back. Pretty sad state of affairs when you want to go see your mom when you're 24 years old, and she's like, don't do it. It's bad news. Never led the league in anything. Did he have any postseason at-bats? Let's see. He played in the 1971 World Series. He's a World Series champion, and he got 3 at-bats in Game 7 of the World Series. Did he start? He started 6 of 7 World Series games. You got a World Series RBI in Game 1. They lost to Baltimore, though. That's cool. Steve Blass pitched a complete game no-hitter, or complete game 1 earned run in Game 7 of the 1971 World Series. We got Dave, Gene, Roberto, Bob, Manny, Willie, Jose, Jackie, Stevie, Don, Davey, Boog, Powell, Murr, Brooks, Elrod, Mark. All right, World Series winner. Good for you. That was when he was 30 years old. He only started 88 games, but he started every postseason game. Who was the other? Who'd he bump off? Let's see. Batting orders. Shortstop. They started with Hernandez. Okay. That's our dude. Then he lost the shortstop spot to Alley. Alley played majority of the year. He got it back in late July, and then in August, him and Alley split. Who's Alley? Gene Alley. He got MVP votes. So he played 114 games. Did he play in the postseason? Wow. Our dude replaced him. How about that? Way to go, Jackie Hernandez. Dude played more than you all season? I don't know the story. Maybe he was the backup and Jackie was hurt. No idea the story on my end. For those listening just on the podcast app, that was me cracking my knuckles into the mic, which is great fun for everyone. Next up.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Book. Ooh. You guys know I usually do a short poem on Mondays. And you guys were also with me when I bought this book by Billy Collins. And if you listen to this every day, you always hear me, you've heard me say at least 2 times how I think I love like mundane happenings, just like, people watching, just the beauty of the mundane everyday life. And this dude's poem that the book is named after is just about all that. Ain't that wonderful? So I'm not going to do the whole thing. But it's just about him looking around at the world and everyday happenings being beautiful to him. And he says he falls in love with them. So he says, this morning as I walked along the lake shore, I fell in love with a wren. And later in the day with a mouse the cat had dropped under the dining room table. Disagree there, Billy. That's gross. I don't like cats nor mouse, but I appreciate that you do. In the shadows of an autumn evening, I fell for a seamstress still at her machine in the tailor's window. Now, a lot of people would say that's like peeping Tom creep shit. But I think he's just saying, hard at work, doing what she's doing. And later, for a bowl of broth, steam rising like the smoke from a naval battle. That's a cool way to describe soup, huh? You may see soup. He sees a naval battle. This is the best kind of love, I thought, without recompense, without gifts or unkind words, without suspicion or silence on the telephone. Oh, he's in a jealous relationship. The love of the chestnut, the jazz cap, and the one hand on the wheel. One hand on the wheel is pretty good. Driving around town nice and slow, not in a rush, just chilling, one hand on the wheel. Everyone loves that. Yeah, so there's more to that, but I'm running kind of late. It's Monday. I like it. I've been reading it. I started it. I'm like, I can't get into a big book because I don't have time, so I'm mostly doing like page here, page there from everything. So I've only read a couple of these from this book and from him in general. I'm not familiar, but it seems like I should be. Seems right up my alley as I pivot away from the crass stuff and more into the just like wholesome old man stuff, love and life stuff, positive stuff instead of the crass heroin addict, junkie, Bukowski, alcoholic stuff that I used to read. Boom. Jane Lee says, Billy Collins slaps. Hey-o. All right. I think that's the show. Sometimes I feel like I don't know what happened. Shaky Graves, Scituate, Rhode Island, the first U.S. court case, pretty boring. Supreme Court case. History of dentistry. Fascinated by it. Mill Towns. Jackie Hernandez played his way into the World Series starter, won the World Series. Billy Collins falls in love with mundane stuff he sees every day around him. Kind of a good way to go through life, if you ask me. Boom. I'm out. That's the show. It's the whole thing. Go enjoy Wake and Jake.